Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you? And I pray everybody's having a great day. Even though I've got this schedule for broadcast tomorrow at 10 a.m., I have to record it so I wasn't in a different time zone because I'm in a different time zone and I didn't want to miss my broadcast again because it didn't air live last week when I had it set up to do so. I don't know what's going on with my lighting right now, but I'm going to pull that up. I hope everyone's having a blessed day. I am in a sunny, undisclosed this location so that I can practice some of what I preach. Have had a very intense first half of 2021 and needed to slow down so that I could have a better um, last half of 2021. Um, what is going on with my lighting? I have no idea what it's doing. It's just like adjusting itself. I think it's the sunlight. Maybe if I lean back, but I can't see my face. I hope you guys can still see me. But I wanted this great location and backdrop. So I thought it'd be fancy schmancy and came in off the beach just to try and do this broadcast. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great Father's Day. I believe it's Father's Day. And everybody is enjoying a restful and peaceful Sunday. We're still continuing to talk about Force Achievers. And thank you again for watching my broadcast. Please click like, share, and share with someone else. You can follow me on YouTube. You can also follow me on Facebook, Dr. Cheryl, and that way you'll get advanced notification of all the things that we're doing as we do them instead of after. So let's get into what we're talking about today. We're talking still about slow living. And something that I have learned about myself, I've always been someone who needed to do things in order and slowly. Used to cause me issues, especially because most of my family, especially my mother, was a lot faster paced than I was. But I always needed to do things methodically and in order and exactly as they were supposed to be, according to what I thought. And all that is learned. I've learned as I've grown older and became more accepting of what my natural bent or my natural disposition is. Instead of trying to make myself be something I'm not, I've grown to accept that I am slower moving and I need time. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't know where we've gotten this idea that if you're busy and fast paced, that that's better. I've always felt like I pushed myself to be something I wasn't until I got old enough to understand that being faster paced was not who I was. And I never did it well. I was never able to hypertask or multitask or do all the things that people who say they are fast paced do. I was never able to do anything well when I did things that way. So I stopped. I just flat out I don't rush. And if I have to rush, I don't do it well. So I have grown to appreciate slow living and will probably always be this way. I have periods in my life that I know I have to pick up the pace. I always meet deadlines, so I don't miss those. But I give myself enough space in my work, in my life, that I don't have to rush, that I'm not chaotic. And I know I'm blessed because I don't have small ones in the home. So I don't have to go by their schedule. I could go by my own. Yay. Um, and then also with work, I've always been one to build more time into my tasks so that um, I could do things at a slower pace. But let's let's talk about slow living. I gave you some principles. Like I said, last week's episode did not air. So I just decided to go ahead and include these in this broadcast. So let's talk again about, I gave a definition for what slow living is, and I hope you caught that. But slow living is a conscious and soulful approach to life that you realize that um, everything that's fast paced doesn't necessarily make it better. And um, everyone isn't required to live at a kinetic, fast pace. I've even incorporated napping and things that cause my body to rest, especially recovering from COVID. I now require much more rest. Even, 4 or 5 months later, I still require much more rest and don't feel guilty for giving that to myself. There's no reason to even feel bad about it. But slow living is realizing the stuff that you aren't doing is the stuff that really matters. It's also saying you appreciate the small moments mean much more than the big things. And especially you can enjoy the small moments and the big moments all at the same time. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Also, it's accepting that life is short and our moments are speedily ticking by. There's nothing you can do to recoup time. You can only maximize the time that you are currently in. You can't go back and recoup time. It's accepting the daily hardships of life and then keeping an eye out for the silver lining. It's not everything or all or nothing, black and white living. It's a rainbow life when you slow live. It's also finding what you're meant to learn from whatever happens that isn't to your liking and use it to help you reach the other side and be better for it. It's not pushing things that you don't like away so that you are always in a state of expecting things to go exactly the way you want them and being disappointed when they don't. Slow living causes you to understand it all comes and it all sometimes can be a mess. I can tell you my travel day was horrible, horrible. Probably one of the worst travel days I've ever had. But I had to make a conscious decision once it was over. What can I learn from it? What can I do to better prepare for the next time I travel outside of the United States or decide I want to just pick up and move the way I do? Sometimes I make decisions to do something outside of my norm where I don't over plan or over analyze. I just decide to have fun. And that's something I did with this trip. And it didn't go according to plan. I mean, like nothing went according to plan. And so I learned a very valuable lesson. And once I got where I was supposed to be, I had to dismiss everything that happened because I couldn't recoup that time. I couldn't change it. Couldn't make it be any different than it was. And so I had to get over it. So let's talk a little bit more about slow living. And then I want to issue you a challenge so that you can incorporate slow living into your life. If you are a faster paced person, remember I said that's fine. Everybody isn't the same. And you may have to be a person that moves at a faster pace than I do. And that is perfectly fine. If you're not, though, if you're somebody that really wants to slow your life down, learn to live at a slower pace, I've got some tips for you and some challenges that you can incorporate into your life so that you can slow your life down. Okay? Now, people usually hate the idea of slow living if they're not slower paced. People who don't like slow living, they're the ones that argue with me, and I get long diatribes in my inbox when I try to tell people You're never hypertasking or multitasking. It's just not possible. The brain is a single processor. Now, you may be someone who can move in between thoughts and processes in your brain faster than someone like me. I know I'm slower, but you're never really truly hypertasking. You're always doing one thing at a time because that's the way the brain works. The brain is efficient and it saves and conserves all of its energy for when you have to respond to a fight or flight, or you have to learn something new, and the brain likes to do that. So it conserves everything. Probably 90% of what you do on a daily basis, your consistent habits, are autopilot. That's just the truth. But people want to argue with me. And then people want to try and educate me on how the brain works from their standpoint. I studied the brain with a neurosurgeon and somebody who has done surgery on the brain and is still doing surgery. So I'm pretty confident that what he taught me and what his research and his surgeries have taught him are true. And so I'll go with that other than your Google search or your Google doctorate. So anyway, slow living, challenging yourself to slow down. It takes a conscious effort, and it may not appeal to you. And it may not appeal to you as a whole way of life, but I challenge you to try some of these tips for slowing down and living your life more slowly, like the pandemic has taught us, bringing us all in. We're all home, can't go out and do all the things we're used to doing. And now we have to live at a slower pace. And that's been the biggest thing that people have just not enjoyed. So one of the things I taught was to do only one thing at a time. I challenge you to try to do that when you're focused on a task. Like for me, I give each hour an assignment. And that hour, there is a task that I need to stay focused on. No matter what the interruptions, no matter what I have to change, there's one task that I can focus on at a time. The other thing I focused on was slowing down and making sure that I am grateful for every moment. And that is a hard thing to do because we want to move to the next thing, or if something happens and we don't like it, we just want to get rid of it. We don't want to figure out what that moment is supposed to mean. And nor do we want to focus on things we don't like. We like what we like. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just challenging you to do things a little differently, especially during COVID, when we've got all of these things going on all over the world, and our whole way of life has been changed and challenged and rearranged. And it is useless to spend time trying to wish things could go back to the way they were. Once something is stretched, it's very rarely able to go back to that shape again. And that's what's happened with life. So I challenge you to try to do just one thing at a time. Just incorporate that into your day where you don't move around so much, that you kind of stay in one lane for a while, and try and do things a little slower, especially food. That's something that I really noticed now. Besides being all on our phones, most of us don't eat slowly. We don't chew enough. We don't eat so that our digestion and enjoyment of our food is the focus. It's like, food is no focus. We just eat. We're on autopilot, or we're trying to get to something else. So we're just shoving food in our mouths. So first thing, do just one thing at a time. Stop trying to multitask. Accept your brain is a single processor. I don't care how much you argue with me. It's the truth. And that's fine. It's the truth. The brain is a single processor. It likes and it's efficient to do one task at a time. So just throw out multitasking, hypertasking, all that stuff. Stop being so harried and busy. Busy being your banner. Slow down. It's okay. I promise you those tasks will still be there. Those people will still be wanting what they're wanting. So, second challenge to you to slow down is to connect with your surroundings. I have conscientiously enjoyed every single view, everything that I'm smelling, the wind on my face, the hot sand on my feet, the waves. I'm not listening to music, I'm listening to nature. I did a nature walk. I went into the rainforest and went and visited waterfalls. Didn't want to disturb it, didn't talk, just enjoyed some forest bathing and enjoyed being outdoors in God's creation, untouched and uninterrupted by man. And it was absolutely wonderful and so relaxing for my mind and my spirit. So connect with your surroundings. Try a different route to work this week. And if you're still getting out, and if you're working from home, just light a candle or change the way your room is. Open the window or open the blinds so you get sunlight. Just do something a little different so that you're conscientious about your surroundings. And see if that doesn't bring some level of pleasure into your life, if you're more aware of your surroundings and what you're doing. Try a no TV or tech evening. Get yourselves a little basket to put your phones on or in and turn them off. No TV on. You don't even have to play games. You can have conversation or nothing at all. I mean, it's fine to do nothing. Rest is fine. Taking a nap is fine. It's you don't have to fill every moment of your day with an activity. So try a no TV, no tech evening and just shut them off. And I challenged in the last teaching to really make sure you're not listening to TV all night. That is something I teach constantly, and I'm still shocked and amazed how many people will keep a TV on or radio on all night long, not realizing your body is asleep, but your brain is still awake. You're still listening, and you're still taking in whatever is going on around you. And you make it very hard for your body to get to REM sleep or REM sleep. And it's a very disturbing habit to your circadian rhythm. That's just not how our bodies are made to operate. That TV on is a disturbance. So try a no TV, no tech night and see, just check in with yourself. That's one of the things I'll be teaching probably next month. We'll be working on some of the digital rehab that people have to go through from the pandemic, throwing us all into technology's grip and making where all of our human contact, business, and everything we do, from buying food even, is all done through tech. So this might be a little harder to do at this point, but you can try it, or even if it's just an hour or two. And try to make it a fun occasion instead of feeling like you're going without. Try to discover other things that you like to do that maybe you stopped doing because you're always on Instagram or Facebook or anything. One of the best things I've done is taken my social media out of my hands and given it to a professional to do. I will never regret doing that. So the times you see me posting, rarely is it a personal post. I've had to change that because I actually got off of social media for about 2.5 years, and I didn't get back on until like 2016. I think that was from 2015 2014 to 2016. I was nowhere near social media, um, and didn't miss it. It's really an intrusion that we become comfortable with, that we don't understand how much it dictates to us. Um, and people are addicted to posting, and they post their every breath on social media. And I used to be like that. It's great for attention, it's great for communication. And if you're trying something with business, it's a great tool to communicate to people. But anyway, try a no tech, no TV night. And here's a big one for slow living that really helps you is don't compare yourself to others. That's something that I continue to work on because again, as I said earlier, I know I'm slower than most people. And for a long time, I tried to be fast paced. And all I did was end up starting a bunch of stuff and never finishing anything and being all over the place in all kinds of things instead of drilling down into what I was really supposed to be doing and how I was supposed to be doing it. So I challenge you to try that, to really become conscientious of who you are and don't compare yourself to others. Social media, these phones and social media has made this a difficult task. And I know this will mostly touch women because we live in comparison anyway. It's how we're wired. But social media and people image managing and presenting their lives as this great something, and you only see their W's, you never see their L's. Um, they're always perfectly made up and perfectly dressed, and the hair is perfect. I mean, who's like that all the time? Nobody. They're not going to post those pictures. You know, I was tempted to go get gussied up and put on one of my really nice outfits so I could look like, and I was like, but you're at a beach, so why would you do that? So I stopped myself, and now you're seeing me just as I am. I did put a little bit of color on my face simply because I'm burnt. So it's really red. So I did change that. But don't compare yourself to others. Learn who you are, gain some self awareness. And if you're slower than most, that's fine. I've learned to accept that. And I stopped trying to be what I'm not, which is fast paced and kinetic. I don't like chaos. I don't like a lot of noise. I don't try to race around and do a bunch of stuff. And I'm at my best. I serve people best when I focus on one thing at a time. Then I really make some achievements. And I hope you would discover that you're that way too. And then you can start to see cumulative achievement in your life. And stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop trying to match what the world's telling us we've got to be fast paced and always on point and perfect and everything has to be right. Because that's so unrealistic and it sets you up for so much disappointment in your life. So much disappointment and so much feelings of failure. You'll find yourself and lack of accomplishment. You will find yourself starting a lot and finishing very little because you're all over the place and you don't realize that starting and not bringing things to a logical conclusion is an extremely stressful way to live. It's extremely stressful on your mind, your body, your spirit, and your relationships. Definitely a problem at work. And if you're an entrepreneur who's always starting over or always having to begin again and never reaching a logical conclusion with something, even if it's a failure, those are good things to conclude so you can try the next thing with experience. And slow living and being focused on living slowly will do that for you. So don't compare yourself to others. Learn who you are and how you work best. And then go get your achievement because the world needs you achieving right now. The world needs what's in you that only you can do the way you do it. So, final thing, and then I'm off the air and I'm going to go back to relaxing. Delight in simple things. Now, I like the big things like trips like this and all these things. These are big things. But I can also have a great evening patio pimping out on my patio. I set it up, have my snacks, have my little bit of wine or something when I'm drinking. I've been drinking lately. I've just stopped drinking. I've never been a big drinker anyway, but I have slowed my entire existence down. And I can go out on my patio, fire up my grill, have a good meal, and I'm just as happy as if I'm sitting in a scenery like this. So learn to enjoy simple things. That's one of the things that this pandemic has done to us. Because we're all collectively traumatized, we've all grieved and we've lost things, lost our way of life, lost being able to just go to the store. Everything is different now. So being able to understand enjoyment of simple things will bring joy and pleasure back to your life. If you're somebody struggling right now with things, then yes, Tina, learn to be happy with yourself. Stop the comparison thing. You're absolutely right. And for me, I just want you guys to know that being happy with simple things doesn't mean um, not things that you like. The simple things that you like is what I'm talking about. Like if you're a person who likes an evening walk, get back to that. If you're somebody who likes lemonade, I know that's a silly thing. It sounds silly, but one of the stress responses from trauma is you turn off your pleasure centers. The brain does that. It's a coping mechanism the brain does where it dials down the ability to enjoy and to taste and feel pleasure, and you become kind of numb. And again, it's a protective thing the brain does so you can cope with the stress and the trauma of what has to take the majority of your efforts and your feelings. It's true. We're all collectively traumatized. So enjoying simple things for us means slowing down and finding pleasure, even if it's that glass of lemonade, that you drink that glass of lemonade and you enjoy all of it. Slow down how you're eating. Slow down how you're walking. Do things thoughtfully and with the idea that time cannot be given back to you. The moment that you have now is all we have. So be fully present. Try to do just one thing at a time. Stop with the busyness and the hypertasking and multitasking and juggling and all that stuff. Just stop it. Try to live more simple. I'll be back next week with a guest. We'll finish up talking about simple living, and I'll introduce next month's Achieve with Dr. C show topic, which I think you'll like. And I'm saving it as a secret for now. But, and just like Tina said, please learn to be happy with yourself. That's one of the great things slow living has been a benefit to me, that I've accepted the way I live and the way I am. So I'm going to wrap up for today. I hope I said something that will help you, something you will try. Please try to incorporate some slow living into your life. See if that doesn't help you feel better, and enjoy your life, this precious life that we have, because all we have is today, right now. So I am going to pick you up and I'm going to show you guys what I've been looking at, because the scenery is just beautiful. So there you go. Get a little corner there. You see it? Let me move my big head out the way. There you go. I don't know if you can hear the waves, if you hear me well, but thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I said something again that will help you slow live. If you need to, please like, comment, share, and you can always DM me, ask me any questions. If you need more information, always come back to the yes, it is beautiful. It's stunning out here, Tina. It's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Um, but if you need some help and you want to talk, I am more than available and more than happy to talk with you. And I will be sharing links and memes and things that you can try to incorporate simple living into your life or slow living into your life. Um, right now, I don't share my travel itinerary. Definitely not public, but hit me in my inbox, Sharon, and I'll let you know what's up. Okay. But yeah, I've run away from home. So we'll see what's up. But anyway, I hope I said something that will help you. I hope that you will enjoy some slow living today. You will do one thing at a time. You won't compare yourself to others. You will understand the brain is a single processor. You're not hypertasking. You're just doing a lot of things not well. And then I also hope that you will follow, like, and share. And then also, if you have any questions, please come into my inbox and I will try and help you as much as I possibly can. Okay? Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for enjoying this. And I will see you on the next broadcast. I guess I scheduled it for tomorrow, CDT time, 10 a.m., my normal broadcast, but it just did what it wanted to do. It says big as life on the screen. You can't see it, but it says big as life on the screen to air tomorrow. But I see you guys are watching it live. Yeah, either one, Sharon, either inbox, whichever one you want. Doesn't matter. Okay? Bye, you guys. Bye.